Hello, my name is Rachel. So the first question is, tell us about the types of mediums you prefer to use within your art. So the types of mediums that I use currently is mostly just graphite and oil painting. I definitely prefer graphite and oil painting mostly because with graphite it's easy for me to quickly get down my ideas onto paper. I like to use oil paints because of the drying times. It gives me a lot of opportunity to change and maneuver the paint however I like to without having to worry about the paint drying too quickly. So another medium that I've recently gotten into, my friend lent me his bass guitar and taught me how to play a few notes on it, and it was sort of like this eureka moment for me. I would say I'm sort of musically inclined. I sing and I also play keyboard since I was much younger, and I've never played any other instrument, but playing the bass guitar for me recently has just been, I just feel like so connected to the guitar. I just feel like it was meant to be. And my father actually plays bass guitar, so maybe it's genetic. I don't know. I don't know, but those are the mediums that I prefer: guitar, bass guitar, oil painting, and graphite. So the next question is, why did I decide to submit my artwork for this project? What's that expression? It's like knock on 10 doors, 9 won't answer, but maybe 1 will. You know what I mean. I try to submit my artwork to as many places as I possibly can, with hopes that I will be noticed. So I would say I've won a few things here and there, and that's enough motivation for me to just keep submitting my artwork to as many places as I have enough time to. So any closing remarks that I would like to share regarding Unity or the cultural period of transition our nation is currently in? Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to even talk about, because even if racism did not even exist, there's still a lot of colorism within our own communities. So until everyone is on the same page, there's still going to be a lot of inequality. So there's that. For me, currently, I'm not even in the States. I don't watch the news at all because it just instills fear within me and it puts me in a terrible mood for a few days. But I do dabble within social media as sparingly as possible. And whenever I do scroll, I try not to scroll, but whenever I do scroll, I do see what's going on in the world and going on in America specifically. And honestly, I'm not really that surprised because this has been going on since like the mid-ages. Not even within African communities, even with other cultures as well. Like my mother is Jewish, so for me it's like Judaism and being black mixed together. It's a double whammy, and no matter what we do, even fighting against it, if we're not uplifting ourselves within our own communities, like if you're strong within yourself, you're not going to be too focused on what other people are doing. And for me, when I lived in America, I have never once ever had a situation where I was being discriminated against, to my knowledge, because of the color of my skin. I always had just as many opportunities as many others of other ethnicities because of my education and my background. So, but that doesn't mean that other people have had the same experience. That's just my personal experience. But coming to where I am right now, Eastern Europe, I cannot walk outside without being called the N-word. When I walk down the street, if a woman is walking with her child like towards my direction on the same street, she will grab her child and cross the street. People treat me very unfairly here, and people accuse me of stealing things just because I'm in the store. If I touch my book bag, like I'm accused of stealing something. People discriminate against me every single day. I would say out of most of the population where I am at, I'm in Belarus currently, I would say probably 70% of them are racist. Now, I feel like people are racist everywhere you go, but over here it's like openly racist. Like everyone will give you the dirtiest looks ever. And some people say they're not racist, they just find it interesting that you're here. Well, I feel like if you're interested in someone being in your country, you would have a different look on your face. You would look more excited. These people look like, and they just start like talking like crap, you know? So I say all this to say that I feel like until the older generations get on board, the younger generations will continue to let racism live. Because I've noticed most of the younger kids here, when they find out that I'm American, not African, they treat me way differently, and that's really strange, I think. Like, they judge me, they look at me and see that I'm black. They automatically assume I'm African, and they tell me assalamu alaikum, like trying to be polite or something. I don't know. And I've noticed like a few times it's happened to me a few days ago. Like, a child would come out of the building and she would just look like, okay, cool, like just like a child, like happy, open-minded. And then her parent comes out after her, and then she grabs her child and says something like, walk this way, like don't even look over there, like. So it's obviously like in front of my face, the older generations are instilling fear in the younger generations in regards to brown skin, in regards to melanation. So I'm just trying to say that, like, it's going to be very difficult to get people on board. And America is far, far, far advanced than the rest of the world when it comes to racism. I personally would love for everyone to just not judge someone based on how they look, because you don't know anything about that person. You don't know anything about their history. You don't know anything about their educational background. You have no idea what's going on within that person. So to look at someone and judge them, that speaks more of you as a person than it does of that person. And as far as the police and the military, as far as their reactions and the way that they treat people of color, I think it's definitely unjust. I don't want to like upset anyone, but I feel like a lot of times Europeans will judge black people based off of how one black person acts. They don't judge black people based off of that particular person. And until a person is educated enough and open-minded enough to actually take the time to get to know someone and not just give a white person a job opportunity over a black person because they're black, things are not going to change. I feel like, honestly, like at the end of the day, it's never going to change because people are unfortunately quite uneducated and very closed-minded, and they judge one race based off of a handful of people from that race. Similar to when 9/11 happened. Now everyone who looks any sort of Muslim or anything, who has any sort of head covering, is now a terrorist. Like, people are just so uneducated. It's mind-blowing. So I just don't think that anything's going to really come of it. I think it's awesome that Americans are fighting for more freedom, but it's going to be a long, long time before the entire world is open-minded to people of color. And that's sad. And that's all I have to say.